Yeah, that should work. Hey, everybody. Or, hey, anybody. I'm going to do a live broadcast this evening, so I'm opening my beer first. Watch this. I can just flick my caps off. It's a magic trick. Nobody has ever done that before. And there's absolutely no magic involved. I didn't open it before, I swear. No, I'm kidding. Well, I decided to do this video at 7:19 tonight. Can't ask me why, because it's a secret. I hope everybody who is here tonight is doing well. Hi, Alex. Hello, Daniel. And hey, Chris. So here's the thing. I made a video earlier, but it took a long time to upload, so it just got uploaded. It was about the holidays and perspective and taking it for what it is, not taking things too seriously, not taking the holidays too seriously. Something happened in Portland the other day. On Thanksgiving morning, a bunch of dumbasses went up and down Hawthorne Boulevard and broke all the windows of the businesses and spray painted a bunch of shit about Thanksgiving and how, you know, it's genocide, celebrating genocide, destruction. And I went into detail on this in the video I made earlier. And it's pretty much bullshit that people would destroy others' businesses and spray paint a bunch of really shitty graffiti saying, look, oh, you know, look at what happened to the Native Americans, therefore we're going to destroy your business and say you shouldn't celebrate a holiday. Now look, I understand that a lot of holidays have different meanings to different people. But the most valuable thing I've learned is everything is perspective and what you make of it. So every holiday, let's say everybody has a day off. You know, what are you going to do? Just go grovel and hide in your closet and say, I'm not celebrating this holiday because it's Christmas and I'm not a Christian. It's like, give me a break. I'm not a Christian either. But it's a time when family gets together. It's more than just an idea. And I think that that's important we remember about everything. You can't just, you know, you can go along in life and just point the finger at everybody else and say, look at these people, they're dumb, they're celebrating this and they're doing this, and, you know, don't they see the truth, and, you know, they have to understand the truth. What the fuck is the truth, right? I don't even know anymore myself. It's funny, I got a whole bunch of emails the other day from YouTube, all in a row, saying, oh, this video was flagged as inappropriate for people, you know, for people under 18 or whatnot. And I realized after reading it all, it was like basically saying, yes, your videos were flagged, not saying that it wasn't humans that flagged it, but rather an artificial algorithm that determines now what is appropriate and what's not, and who should have a video and who shouldn't, and what you should talk about and what you shouldn't. I watched a video earlier on a channel I like, one of my favorite channels called Second Thought, and he was talking about the CIA, and the first comment was how his video was demonetized. Fortunately, I don't monetize my channel, I use Patreon, so thank you to my patrons, of course, but it's because if I put ads on my channel, I wouldn't get any revenue talking about shit like this. If I even say the word shit, everything gets removed. Everybody censors everything now. YouTube has been censoring people for years. And you can see this whenever you go to look for news. What are you going to find? A whole bunch of mainstream garbage. CNN, NBC, ABC. You go on there, you get the same garbage. Fox News. It's all crap. And yes, even OANN and Newsmax. It's all junk. Everybody is giving you whatever's going to sell you excitement. And the truth is, most news isn't very exciting. So, anyhow, I was thinking about the holidays and how important they are to people, and how people make this huge deal every holiday about things like Black Friday, and, you know, how much people should shop, and commercialism, and, you know, getting the best gift. To me, it's all just bullshit. I don't believe in that pretentious garbage. I think that too many people are out there to just, you know, follow suit. It's not their fault. It's that they have been programmed to follow this system of, yes, you know, holidays are here, we do this, we put the tree up at this time, and we do these things because, not because you want to, but because you have to. Now we set up a Christmas tree. We love going out and getting a tree. We live in the Northwest, so we get, you know, we can go out and cut our own if we want. But it's kind of a tradition that I realize is rooted in some interesting traditions relating to the mushroom and relating to, as Santa was most really became an issue or a real thing after Coca-Cola decided to use Santa as a prop. It's amazing when you look at history and how much we don't know about it, how much bullshit we've been fed from the beginning. Um, and that's why history is what you make of it, right? There's an old term, history is written by the victors. And I'm going to flip back through the comments and say hello to everybody here real quick. Oh, this, I'm using a microphone stand and it doesn't hold the phone very well, but here we go. Yep. Hey, all right. Hey, Dan. Hey, Alex. Hello, Jennifer. Hello, Mark. Hello, DB. Hello, Chris. Hello, uh, hello, Cami. And 3:30 a.m. for Daniel, huh? Yeah, you're over on the other side of the pond, aren't you? Like in England or something. It's crazy to think, you know, I maybe should do a live cast earlier, but this is when I feel motivated, so hello to everyone that's out there. Oh, Inspector Cooper, my brother. I hope you're enjoying your travels wherever you may be as well. On the road, perhaps. Hello, Lonnie Whitehead. So, here we are. I made a video the other day saying how I was going to. I felt confused over the years about what I really want to do, but my passions I feel like won't earn me any money. So I get kind of stuck in these routines. And every time the holidays come around, I think, okay, it's time to do something great, create some shit for Christmas, sell some jewelry, whatever. I was going to make knife handles, things like that. I made a video the other day about this crappy old knife I found, and I thought, well, it's not crappy, it's crappy because I didn't fix it up yet. And that's kind of the point here. It was my grandfather's knife from World War II, and then my dad acquired it from his dad, I believe. And, you know, I inherited it when he passed away, but it's a really nice metal. I mean, it's gorgeous. Now, I could have polished this to a perfect shine and had it completely accurate, you know, as far as having a perfect bevel, perfect blade, everything. But I left a whole bunch of ruts inside, you know, it's basically a full tang. The butt of it connects to the tang. You can't remove it, so it's got this old like leather or wood handle where these little pieces. There's all these rings on it. Anyhow, it's a World War II knife. It's called a PAL RH34, and I restored it. And I thought about how proud I was to restore it. And then I went and I sliced off a whole bunch of pieces of fucking paper, and I was like, damn, this thing's sharp as hell. The sharpest knife I've ever had or sharpened because I put the time into it. Now, the point here is metaphoric. It's not about the knife. It's about sharpening everything, all of your skills, whatever you want to be good at, whatever you want to do better, whatever you have an idea to do. When I set up my shop out in the garage years ago doing cabinetry and whatnot, eventually I kind of lost interest and lost faith because I fucked my back up. For a while, I didn't feel like I could do anything. And then recently I've just been like, I have to move forward and I have to do something different. I'm not depressed. It's not like I've been, I mean, slightly maybe, but I mean, I think that 2020 has really fucked a lot of people's systems up, right? I mean, we're all stuck in this rut. And a lot of folks want to toughen their way through it and say, it doesn't even faze me. Others say, oh, it phases me way too much and I can't do anything about it. But the truth is, we're all kind of in this together. COVID is really getting nasty out there. I mean, finally people finally know folks who are getting COVID. And when we talk about a dark winter and whatnot, I feel like this Christmas is just going to be horrible. With all the travel and all the people getting together over the holidays, you know, us having our own little Thanksgiving holiday with just the 5 of us, our family, to be safe and protect our other family. It's hard. You know, you want to get together. You want to enjoy your time with other people, but You don't want to kill people. Like somebody said, you know, you can celebrate with grandma on Thanksgiving and then go to her funeral on Christmas. And that's the truth. Even though the truth is you can't really even go to the hospital to see people. Um, I'm going to be honest. I feel awkward whenever I talk about COVID because I know there's some people out there who don't want to hear it because they are either scared about it and they don't, are just sick of hearing about it, and others who really don't believe it's a major issue and just scoff at it like it's the flu. I'd like you to be introduced to the long haulers, and I would please urge anyone who thinks that it just comes and goes, or that people that get it, it's not a big deal, to research long haulers and cytokine storms, which was mostly a 1918 thing. But as the virus morphs, it may be creating a type of cytokine storm, which means basically when you get the virus, your body kicks into overdrive with its own, you know, you want to kill off the virus, right? So you produce all these antibodies. These antibodies might also destroy your own organs. This is why you have liver damage, kidney damage, lung damage. It's from your own body fighting off this virus, not necessarily the virus itself, right? Well, this virus has been shown to do the same thing to the brain. This may cross the blood brain barrier because it's a novel virus and our brain doesn't recognize it. This is a crucial point to make. I'm not trying to scare anyone, but I'm just saying that if you want to be aware, you should know that even if you're in your 40s and healthy, like I consider myself to be, the long term effects might be hardcore. So here we are going into the winter, and the cases are doubling every couple of weeks, and then we have to, you know, try to enjoy our holidays and want to hang out with our family and friends, but at the same time realize we really can't, you know, and that as this gets worse, people are just going to continue to, at the same time, ignore it more and more, I guess, and pretend like COVID doesn't exist. Pretend like it's just, you know, well, it's somebody else's problem. And I'll tell you, this is the same way people feel about people's cars getting broken into, or home invasions, or anything else like in this world that affects people around us, but we're just like, well, it hasn't happened to me. And then all of a sudden it happens, and you're overly vigilant. It's like if I've spent this long being careful, I don't want to just get COVID tomorrow and have my whole family sick. But I'm not even as worried about my immediate family as I am about, say, my own mother, who's, you know, in her 70s now, or my wife's mother, who's in her 80s now. And that's a big difference, you know. Even 10 years like that, especially when you're 70 or 80, I mean, some people can fight it off and they're tough. But the thing is, we're trying to work together as a community here to not kill each other. I don't know. It's a worldwide problem, so what do you do about it, right? I'm going to read the comments real quick. Cami says, no one knows the real truth regarding religion. We can try. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah. Yeah. Shadow ban. Yeah, that's a big issue, too. Um, Lonnie says, what's up, Carpo? Hey, Lonnie. Cheers, Carpo. I had Jägermeister. Hey, so did I, man. Actually, I still do. So, cheers. Actually, it's Jaeger with Rockstar. But it's a sugar-free Rockstar, so it's healthy. This year, my mom's birthday. 53 pounds and a card will do. Oh, Speciosa says, what's the logo on your hoodie, man? Oh, this thing, man, I bought this the other day. So my wife and I went to McMenamin's the other day. I It was great. Great. You know, I mean, every time I go there, it's awesome, but I went upstairs to the third floor, and they do new painting down the hallway, and they let these professional painters paint all this Grateful Dead crazy shit. All these pictures I posted were from there. I got the hoodie from there. That most of them were like $45, but this one was 30, so I was like, well, I'll support it. It says Psychedelic Stoner Rock Microfest, Sabretooth, Crystal Ballroom. And the Crystal Ballroom is I guess it's a ballroom, but it's also a bar slash concert hall for smaller, more intimate concerts, and the whole floor bounces. It's set up to bounce for dancing, and it's a fucking awesome place. I saw Modest Mouse there several times, and it's a really good place to see music. That's all I can say. Yeah. Mark says metal was made better back. Yeah, better back then too. Metal was awesome. I still love metal though. I'm a metalhead. I always have been. Okay. I thought you collected them till I reckon you got given them what? Sounding storage unit. Thought I collected what? I got confused, Daniel. Oh, the knives. Yeah, those knives. I've collected knives all my life, but not just because I'm a knife collector. I don't like buy them, but maybe one a year I come across somehow or get it for free. Half the knives in my knife collection were just acquired. At least probably three-quarters of them were acquired. So I'm not really a collector. I just buy shit. Chris says 99.8% survival rate. I just like to say whenever somebody says that there's a percentage, all I can say is there's still 260,000 Americans who have died in much less time than the average 30,000 who die from the flu. Do the math yourself. I'm not going to do it for you. I mean, no offense. I'm just like, I can't compare 9 times more people dying or 8 times more people dying in 8 months than usually dying in a whole year from flu. These are preventable illnesses. Okay? This is a novel virus. It actually infects us in ways we don't understand yet. And this is the whole point. What I just said a minute ago is crucial, Chris. 99.8% survival rate would be even fine. Wouldn't matter. But if even 1% of those have long-term effects, that neurological effects that last a lifetime, we should be aware of that. So it still means we should avoid it, right? I mean, can we at least agree to avoid the virus? I mean, that's all I'm trying to get across, man. You can, I don't, when you say 99.8%, what you're basing that on, and I've said this several times before, is how many people have already caught it versus died, versus how many people might get it and the potential for death in America and the U.S. America and the Americas and the rest of the world. And I have looked at the numbers. I've looked at the potential. My belief is that the death rate is somewhere around 3% or less, perhaps 2%. Doesn't matter. That's a lot of fucking people. I mean, you just got to look at the numbers. That's all. We care about each other, right? I mean, don't we care? Just like flu season, Chris says. No, it's not like flu season at all. Completely different. Chaga daily? Yes, I take chaga whole collection of different mushrooms that I take. And they are all considered to be immune boosters, but you never can tell. I mean, it's like this flu blend that I made a long time. I made a flu blend for my website because I sell herbs, and I sold this flu blend for 2000, I think 15 or no, I think it was it 15, 16 or 17, whatever. There was like this really intense flu season, so I was like, well, I'll make this flu blend, and I started making it again recently. And I've been taking them whenever I feel like I might be exposed. I have 5 people in my family, and a 26-year-old son as one of them, and he goes out and he sees his friends, and he's trying to be really careful. We don't want to bring it back to ourselves. I just feel like people downplay coronavirus like it's just a big joke. Like it's okay to just throw out numbers, which is negating everything that you hear from doctors, nurses, and the people who here in Portland in the hospitals have said, please, wear a mask, use common sense, wash your hands, because we're already getting overloaded in our hospitals from the people from Idaho who have been sent over here to our hospitals, because in Idaho, a lot of people choose to not wear masks because they're tough guys. And it's just frustrating as hell. It gets to the point where I'm like, okay, to each his own, but if you really at this point don't think coronavirus is serious, come on, get a fucking clue. I mean, I don't know what else to say about it. It's not like you have to be fearful, because I'm not scared of it. If it comes, it comes. I'm not going to take the vaccine, I'll tell you that. I'm not interested in taking a new vaccine, that's for sure. I mean, it's up in the air as to how useful it might be. 90% effective or not, I don't know if the long-term effects of this vaccine are worse than the virus itself. But that kind of leaves it fucking up in the air, right? I mean, you can't use the, if I don't want to take the vaccine and I don't want to get sick, then I got to be careful. So when I see the people like down in my local neighborhood who decided they aren't going to wear masks and they're going to do not only that, but they organized, like dozens of people got together in downtown Vancouver, Washington here. And their thing was to march from grocery store to grocery store, going in without masks to show that they have the freedom and that they have civil rights to not wear masks. And so basically what you're saying is you have the right to breathe on old people. Because we know masks aren't as effective for preventing it from you. It's just to stop droplets. So here come these shitbags walking through the store, spitting all over these old people who are shopping. I think, you are the worst kind of fucking human. Totally unaware, completely unconscious of the reality of what a society needs is cooperation. You know, to get along with one another. It's ridiculous. It's really ridiculous. So, forgot my hair was up in kind of a bun, so I'll let it down and let it flow. So anyway, I'm sure that that'll piss people off or something, but I don't care because I'm really sick of hearing the selfish excuses for not wearing a mask. I think it's bullshit. Jennifer says, I'm not taking the vaccine. Yeah, I hear that. Yeah, the vaccine's a scary kind of thing, man. Tropical says, I feel for the small business owners who had to hit their finances. Yeah, dude, I actually do not support shutdowns. My wife is a server at a restaurant out here, and we are saying, hey, if people want to go out and eat, they should have that right. That is a freedom. I mean, there are people who argue with that. I've argued with people on Twitter on the website for my own state from like Jay Inslee, and they say, well, you're selfish if you think people should keep their restaurants open. I'm like, no, you're selfish to think that people should close their restaurants just because the state says so. Because restaurants that are properly cleansed are not a major vector of spread. It's parties and close contact and families. Our leaders are completely clueless on this, whether it be politicians in the state or the federal government. I'm not saying clueless. I mean, obviously, they know some things about it, but they don't know enough to have a coherent strategy for it. That means it's up to us. So if you're going to shut down businesses, what you're going to do is basically run out all the small businesses, and you're going to make a cashless economy, which is what a lot of people do want. So, it's hard to kind of fight against that. And I totally agree. I don't think that they should be doing this because shutting down small businesses is bullshit. But as individuals, we should still wear a mask and social distance if we can at the moment until we figure out what the fuck's going on. It's like wearing a helmet or a harness when you're on a roof. I was a roofer and I was in construction for years, and there were certain safety things we would take. There was always at least 1 out of every 5 guys I worked with would act like the tough guy that didn't need steel-toed boots. He didn't need a harness on the roof. He didn't need a helmet. He didn't need a mask while we were doing demolition. And these are some of the guys that probably have fucking all kinds of breathing problems now because we're tearing out asbestos tiles. But no, they're not going to wear a mask because it's their freedom. I don't want to. I'm tough. It's no different than what's going on right now. It's just that there's not enough history behind this for people to see it yet, right? Hope that makes sense. I better flip through the comments real quick here. Hey, yep, Daniel says a crazy virus. We should not downplay it. Jennifer says I practice natural remedies, hot shower. Yeah, herbs are a great thing to do, man. Just be careful. Cami says my son is type 1, and if he gets it, he will die. Well, Cami, your son is the kind of person that I'm wearing a mask for, honestly. I'm not as worried about my own kids. They're young, and my own family is pretty healthy. And most of us have, I think all of us have type O blood, which is considered less responsive. If you're not aware of this, it seems that type O blood has less severe symptoms. And there's also immunity, or, well, the amount of viral load you get, which means if you can minimize how much virus you get, it really does make the illness even less. Your body can fight off a certain amount. So it really depends. If you're hanging with somebody all day sharing glasses, it could be a completely different story. He wears a gas mask, she says. Oh man, that's rough. Chaga, ACE2 receptor agonist, says, Wait, where were we here? Oh, Mikal says enzyme receptor site virus uses elderberry, chaga mushroom, zinc, vitamin D. Yeah, masks, social distancing, hand washing. Thank you. Thank you for posting that. It's exactly how I feel. You use everything in conjunction. You can take antivirals, you can take herbs, you can take mushrooms, a million things, but really just simple preventative measures and being careful is important. And I hate that this got into this topic during the holidays. I wanted to talk about more important things, but I think what is more important than our health, right? We want to be spending holidays with each other right now. We want to be hanging out with our fucking family for Christmas and God, Thanksgiving. Like in the video I made earlier, I said, people, it was one of the best Thanksgivings I've ever had. We made a turkey breast. We used the Instapot, and I'm going to tell you, I wanted to make a video about this shit, but the Instapot cooked that fucking turkey in like 40 minutes. Perfect. Oh, best turkey. We had a turkey breast though, but different story altogether. But spending it with a small family is fine too. But next year, we're all going to be partying. Just remember that. We're all going to get together and we're going to have a big ass fucking party. I mean, shit. I mean, I might even be inspired next year to do some kind of like travel around the country and like, meet people that I wanted to talk to from my channel or elsewhere, or people that I want to get out in the world once this shit's over, once everything isn't shut down. It really gives you an appreciation for where we're at. And you can't deny what it is, right? It is what it is. We don't know what it is, but it is what it is. Chris says they've caught many politicians without masks. Yeah, I know. They're a horrible example. Totally agree with that. I'm not a big fan of masks. I hate wearing it. And I even didn't wear mine down the hallway when I was at the motel the other day, going to the bathroom at 4 in the morning, because I'm like, there's nobody out here. I don't care. I'm not super particular. I don't feel super anal like I have to wear a mask everywhere I go. And I do not wear masks outdoors. It's one of the things I don't do. And I don't live in New York City or something, which I know would be different, right? But I just cannot wear masks on the outdoors. The minute I walk out the door from the store, that mask is coming off and it's over. So, just for in grocery stores, do what I can. Mikhail says David Icke thinks Rona doesn't exist. Yeah, I don't like David Icke at all, and I'm trying to avoid him as much as possible, but I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know what to believe anymore about conspiracies and all that shit. I still have people recommend David Icke to me, and I think, the guy is such a douchebag to me. I mean, back in I think it was the 80s, early 90s maybe, there was this famous interview where he kind of hinted that he might be the reincarnation of Jesus. Now, I know he never said this. It was one of those things that the media blew out of proportion. But he didn't deny it either. And I think that he has what you would call not a superiority complex. It's well, it's where you basically think that you're great and you think that you have a royalty complex kind of thing. And the guy doesn't really. He talked about reptilians running the world. I don't know if reptiles run the world, but I know that if a person is wrong as often as David Icke is, then I really can't take the guy seriously. It makes it hard. It's hard to redeem yourself when you make up stories, and a lot of these guys do. The one thing I have about conspiracy theories is this: what does it benefit you to know it? What are you gaining from knowing this one particular thing? And it's an important question to ask ourselves. Honestly, it's what I ask myself every time. If somebody says, hey, did you know that so-and-so is involved in this conspiracy with this bank and this plot and the Jews and the Rockefellers and all this other stuff, and I say, but do you benefit from knowing this? And they're like, well, yeah, of course, knowledge is truth, it's power. I'm like, but how has it helped you in your life? And they say, well, it's the truth, and the truth matters. That's where the conversation kind of ends. I mean, it's like you can't really do anything with the knowledge. But let's say you have a knowledge of alchemy, and I'm not talking about physical, but mental alchemy, changing the way you think. If you still think alchemy is, pouring vials, you've missed the whole point altogether. And that sounds a little arrogant, but I don't care, because that's how I feel now. I've read so much about what magic and alchemy and chemistry really means. I mean, chemistry, the term chem is from ancient Egypt. It was Chem was a name for an ancient Egyptian sect or group, and or Egypt itself, depending on how you interpret it. There are a lot of different histories, and history is written by the victors, right? So when people talk about how there's some ancient hidden history that has been hidden for thousands of years, some ancient truth that, most of us mortals cannot access, they're absolutely fucking right. I mean, I follow strange things like Brian Forrester, who posts, ancient machining lines in the rocks, the way that ancient cultures, like way before the Mayans and the Aztecs, perhaps 12,000 years ago, had actually built these amazing structures, which were destroyed in some cataclysm, which now we're finally starting to see that 12,000 years ago there was a huge event which caused catastrophic flooding. Perhaps a lot of these events were localized, could have been this comet that they just discovered about 12,000 years ago hit up in the Antarctic. No, I think it was in northern Canada somewhere, or just under the ice sheet, but they can see it now with the, using satellites. It blows people away thinking, oh shit, this is about the time when there was a worldwide flood, supposedly. And I believe firmly that most of the ancient technology, including many of the pyramids and structures, were built not just, 4,000 years ago or 3,000 years ago, but 12,000 years ago or more. And it's hard for man to grasp that. But I know I kind of got off topic here, but the point being, it's important to remember this. The history we've been fed is a bunch of bullshit. History is created by the victors, and there may be a lost history. There may be an advanced civilization technology we just can't comprehend, that we can't understand. And when you look at some of the way these stones were cut, laser fucking precision. If any of you out there think I'm crazy, which I know a lot of you probably know where I'm coming from, but I'm sure some people are like, well, that's not rational. What do you mean? Archaeologists have already dated these things. No, they really have not. You should know. Anybody who understands archaeology knows you cannot date stone. Okay? It's impossible. You can date when a quarry may have been quarried by the water, or looking at the Sphinx to see how much it's worn. But I'm still fascinated by these ancient stories, and it blows me away to think that people really have lost that interest. That it's not a lost technology, that it's a technology that's beyond what we consider technology, right? Maybe an awareness or a self-awareness of who we are, where we came from, that the ancient Egyptians or the Sumerians or those before them understood, but that was lost to time. And I was kind of surprised because years ago I used to think that, well, if there was an ancient civilization, we'd find, signs of it. Then I found out how fast things decay. I started to learn how fast steel, even, amazing alloys will decay over 10,000 years. They fall apart completely. There are a lot of crazy stories, and like my brother and I talked the other day, I was like, do you think Bigfoot still exists? Because I live next to Mount St. Helens, and he was saying, well, I think it was a ground sloth, and it was an ancient story, and I was like, I thought that too, because I read about that, but what if, right? You just never know. Keeping that mystery alive is, I think, what, as humans, it's like keeping the holidays alive, keeping every year trying to keep routines and excitement and keeping ourselves inspired and interested about the world is what makes us human, right? I don't know. That's how I feel anyway. Where was I here? Hey, Cammy. What'd she say? Spirits, yes. Mikal says, wait. Okay, she's encountered them for real. Well, I may have too, but okay, yeah. First, I says, David Icke suffers from delusions of grandeur. Thank you! Thank you, the dreamer is me. I appreciate that. That's what I was looking for, delusions of grandeur. It's a very important term to remember, because a lot of people have delusions of grandeur. They think that they're the truthers, the ones who are going to save you. from the evil monsters and the aliens. And look, aliens have not landed and saved us yet. There are some crazy stories back in the day. But think about it. In a day where everybody has a phone in their pocket, where are the UFOs now? Really, let's be honest with ourselves. I am devastated, honestly. Not devastated, but severely disappointed in what I've learned researching UFOs. That majority of it's complete bullshit or fabricated. Or else the UFOs have just disappeared and the aliens are gone. Or really the UFOs just changed every year along with mankind's interpretation of what a UFO would look like. I mean, just look at the old videos from the 50s, 60s, 70s of the ones that are claiming to be UFOs. They look like something that somebody from that age would think is a UFO. Today they're super high tech. They're, interdimensional beings, and you see these crazy tubes floating in the sky. I don't know what's real. CGI has changed everything so much that deep fakes, like even with politics and people, what are we going to do, people? How the fuck are we going to know what's real anymore? I mean, I'm saying this honestly. Propaganda has been shoved down our throat for a long time. But today, we're really stuck with a serious dilemma. People can fake anything on a home computer. It's scary as shit. I don't know what to think about that. But Mikhail says, I prefer to think the power elite are day-to-day folks working hard and creating community, not the Illuminati. You know what? I agree with you. I don't suspect everyone of being conspiring for evil. What I do find is that a lot of the people who are in charge mean well. They think the best way is to say, let's eliminate this huge group of people over here, to make more for these people. There are some really bad decisions that are made because somebody has the power, but not always. There are some really good decisions made by leaders. Can't even find a credit card in between. I don't know what that means. Says there's no way they could cut the precise cuts with that advanced machine. Oh, yeah. I see. You're talking about the lights. Sorry, I'm trying to keep up with comments at the same time as remembering what I was talking about. Yes, there's no way to do those cuts with that advanced machinery. We can't even do it now. Exactly. You can't, even if you were using a giant saw blade, which is possible, a huge pedal, say saw blade with reducing gears, right? Reducing gears will allow you, and gears are very simple and they're ancient. So if you have the right gears and enough people pedaling, you can get actually a giant blade going, which you could edge with diamond bits. Totally possible, or quartz, or something harder than the stone you're cutting. But I would like for anybody out there who is a geologist, a scientist of any form, who thinks, oh, that's ridiculous, to say, how do you cut diorite with in-cut, like rosettes inside it, and perfect cuts that go in like patterns? How the fuck do you cut perfect corners inside diorite when it's not even a structural need, when it's just for decoration? Why would any civilization do that, and how? With bronze tools? I'm just like, I can't even believe that people really think that that's possible. But it's because they don't know any better, and we're scared. This is what I found. The people who are telling you that there was no high ancient technology are the Christians, okay? Religious people. And I hate to say that because it sounds offensive, but it's not. They don't have, the large religious institutions don't have the open mind to think that cultures that were pre-Christ had higher technology than post-Christ. It's a selfish motive, a selfish idea that we know better than our past civilizations. It's not just religion. It's not just Christians either. I mean, many different religions. Everyone wants to think the past was more primitive. So when Islam came around, it said Christianity was the old version of Christ, kind of, that Muhammad was the new prophet, right? Fascinating stuff, but the reality is that there may have been an ancient technology that surpasses anything we have today. Cutting stone in the precision, the way that they did it is laser cut. I mean, not literally laser cut, but it's laser precise. It literally, you cannot fit a fucking business card between them. It's amazing. And they don't have to be cut that way. It makes them earthquake proof. They've been doing more and more research, but if you look at the Great Pyramid and you can't say, holy shit, that's a fucking marvel, what is it? I mean, it's crazy. It still blows me away to today. From when I was a kid, it's been one of my most, my passions has been ancient technology and alchemy and ancient, knowledge, right? And for a while, I was kind of bothered by like the fact that ancient aliens existed. No, not ancient aliens, but this show. Things like that came around and it made everything look stupid. You couldn't take anything seriously. You'd watch a show and think, whoa, whoa, there's a landing strip on the top of a mountain? Oh, wait, it's just a fucking mesa? They took everything out of context and kind of ruined it. And then people like these YouTube channels, a whole bunch of them, like Deep or Dark or whatever it was. I don't even remember the names of these channels. The YouTube UFO channels that every single day were posting a new video. It was embarrassing. It ruined any type of real research. It's like the guys who always want to post a Bigfoot article every week. Look, you might see something once in a while, but the reality is you don't see the shit very often, if you do at all. I've seen some weird shit in the sky, but if I made it my life mission to write about it, I'd have to come up with some shit, and people make shit up. So fake news is not just mainstream. Alternative is just as fake, and even more so, because they don't have to answer to anybody. They can say, I saw this and it's true, and I don't care what you believe. So, that's how I feel about that. Chris says, where were you when Mount St. Helens erupted? Huh. I was in Milwaukee, Oregon, right just south of Portland, and I remember that the whole sky was cloudy and there was ash falling, and our whole backyard was just full of ash. My dad was out there scooping it. There's pictures of him in these big ass boots scooping ash off of our back porch, and we weren't allowed to go outside because it was all ashy. But yeah, we lived through that shit. It was pretty crazy, and I can see it from right up the street. I mean, I can look through the trees. It's right there. Like, I think it's about 30 miles as the crow flies. So straight, it's about maybe 40 miles from here. So if it erupted again, we're in a good spot to avoid the ash flow, but or the debris flow, but we definitely get ash. John says, please tell me about the bass behind you. Oh, bass. He's probably saying bass. Oh, the bass. Really? You want me to tell you about my bass? All right. Check this out. This is a bass, and I play bass guitar, and I like bass guitar. What else can I say? No, this bass has a story. When I was about 14 years old, I started playing guitar, 13 or 14. My brother and I started playing. It was about 91 or something, 92. I wasn't very good at guitar because my fingers are huge. I got big hands. And so I was like, maybe I'll play bass instead, since my fingers are big and the strings are farther apart, and my brother plays guitar. We could play music together. Since all my friends play guitar, I'll play bass. So I asked for Christmas, and I got this Samick, which is made by Yamaha, or is it Fender? God, I don't even remember now. It's been a long time. It was a really awesome bass. I loved it. Played it for a long time. It has active pickups, and it's a really good bass. And then I fucking chipped it up, and it got dropped by my brother, who and a couple other people. It got chipped up, and then I decided to try to. Somehow the knobs got lost. I think what happened was it dropped off of an amplifier at my brother when we were doing band practice. I was playing with my brother in like 2010 or something. It fell and smashed and broke all this in. So I bondoed it, put them back in. Then I said I was going to fix this eventually because I used to have the knobs in the back. Long story short, I spray painted it from white to black and kind of ruined it. And now I still need to repair it. But I have my other bass. I have two other basses. One is a P bass from Fender, and another one that's a Spectre. And so I played bass in a band for my brother, in a punk band, then in Related Material, which we changed to First in Line. And then I also play, of course, acoustic guitar, which is, I just played that song the other day. And but the story behind that particular bass, I got that in 90? I think I got it in 1990. So, wow. It's a 30-year-old bass. But it's not too surprising because actually I got this in 95, that acoustic I showed you. And so that's a 25-year-old guitar. The acoustic, my first acoustic that I still play more than anything else. Sounds great when it sounds right. So that's the story of the bass. Mark says, do you think UFOs and aliens built the pyramids? No, I don't. I think humans built them with high technology. Completely. But I think they might have even had some sort of levitation. Who knows? Cammy says, doesn't it blow your mind about all the universes and galaxies? I mean, I wonder what else is out there. Not just that, but alternate dimensions, alternative realities. It's fucking nuts, dude. I mean, seriously, it sounds cheesy, but if you really stop for a minute here, okay, yes, there may be distant galaxies we can't comprehend. There may be different laws of physics in different areas of the universe. There may be alternate universes. There may be multiverses, infinite multiverses. We don't know. Like a weird movie I watched last night. It's called Coherence. It's on Hulu. Just like this group of people get together for dinner, and then a comet's passing overhead, and it causes this havoc where they have these multiple realities crossing. It's a strange movie. All these are mindfuck kind of ideas. You know, trying to understand what it could be like to have multiple universes isn't something the human can comprehend. And when you hear these physicists or scientists like try to say, oh, I believe in the multiverse, you're like, whatever, it sounds stupid and cheesy. But the point is that there may be multiple dimensions, different layers of reality, and what you might call time loops. I don't want to go into that one because it's pretty fucking weird. Hi from Grant's Pants? Grand Pants? What? Hi from Grand Pants. I thought I said Grant's Pass. It's a place in Oregon. Thanks, Big Carpo fan. You're a Big Carpo fan? Dude, that's a weird thing to hear because I'm a Big Carpo fan. I have to be a fan of myself. No, I don't know. I'm a weird guy. It's kind of weird for me to actually like post shit on here and like talk about myself because I feel really awkward. I'm still a very insecure human being, like a lot of you are, and I'm willing to admit that. Sometimes I sit here in front of the camera getting ready to make a live video or a regular video on my camera, and I don't do it because I'm like, I just feel weird. I have to be in the right mindset. And I realize so many other YouTubers are that way. In fact, one guy I've been watching for a while, he's been posting all these videos about Kratom and other stuff, and I just thought, this guy seems a little desperate. He's trying too hard. And then he posted one today that said, I need help. I was like, it was like a call for help, basically. And I haven't watched it yet, but, I know that people who put on a show, like, they're doing great. They're always put on this image, got cool, their hair's all done and everything. And this is one of the reasons why I come out to y'all with just my straight up fucking, this is who I am. I'm just a fucking hippie, dude. And I don't want to, like, be pretentious. When I do wear weird jackets and clothes and stuff like that, it's because it's who I am. It's not because I'm trying to impress you. It's because I'm trying to make you fucking laugh a little bit. I mean, life is ridiculous. It really is. You know, what else can you say about it? Infected Chris, how you doing? Chris Styles, right? I'm pretty sure it's the same Chris. Yeah, that's right. It's something I can explain because it moves so quickly after not moving. Certainly not some every week. Yeah, when my son and I went up to the mountains up by Mount Adams, which is known as a very hot spot for UFOs, we saw this thing moving across several things, dozens of them moving across the sky. But at one point at like 2 a.m., something moved across and it stopped. And then it moved in like a half circle and it stopped. And then it kind of moved over here. The only description I have is like it looked like an ant exploring in the sky, but it was bright light. And I was like, do you see that? And he was like, dude, that's fucking weird. We were like acknowledging each other like, wait, what's going on here? And then it got really bright. Or no, then we said, hey buddy, what are you doing? Come down here. Because we'd maybe eaten a little mushrooms, I don't know. maybe a couple mushrooms were in our system, but it had been several hours and we were coming down. And so I was like, maybe we're tripping, right? But no, as soon as we said, why don't you come down here, it got really bright. And to us, it looked like it was coming towards us. And I was like, no, no, never mind it. And then it got dull again. And I know satellites do this. I've seen this a million times. But this one was different. And it moved over here and it moved in a weird circle and then it just took off across the sky. I've seen some UFOs that blew my mind and others that were just like, well, that's my mind playing tricks on me. Yeah, there's weird stuff out there, my friends. Big time. Jackson, California. I haven't been there, Cammy. Before the use of drones. Yeah, that's funny you say that, Chris, because I actually have seen some drones that I was like, what the fuck is that? Like in my local area. You see all the different colors and you're like, what the fuck's that? Then you hear them. That's a different story. These ones were way up there. Let me back up a little bit here. Thanks for the answer. You're welcome, my friend. I'm trying to read all the comments as I go here, but I don't want to get too broken up in my thoughts. Ancient astronauts' theories say yes to just about everything. Thank you. Yes, they do. It was ridiculous. Giorgio Tsoukalos, the guy with the big hair, such a moron. I mean, he just makes everybody who looks into UFOs look bad. Everybody on Ancient Aliens makes UFO hunters look bad. Fucking idiots. I loved that show when it first came out. I was sucked in. I believed a lot of the stuff. I say. We're all suckers sometimes. Okay, I dominated the air in my chips bag. Says, what are your thoughts on Bitcoin and cryptocurrency? Is the Bitcoin thing for real? Because I know we have a printing money issue. Okay, yes, we have a printing money issue because of the removal from the gold standard, which really didn't mean shit anyway. And in the 60s, in 1964 specifically, we stopped printing real silver coins and started making them clad coins with like copper, nickel, and steel, but they have no real silver or gold in them at all. And the dollar bills cannot be exchanged for silver or gold. They're considered basically promissory notes. So in the old days, you used to want to, if you wanted to give a farmer, give some of your crop to somebody because they wanted to buy some of your wheat, and you had not, your pigs weren't grown enough, right? The person would say, okay, I'll give you a bushel of wheat. You write down that you'll give me one of your pigs when they're ready and slaughtered, and boom, the trade was done. You bring back the note, you get the pig, good to go. The banks decided to take this into their own hands, and this is where money became an issue. But let me say, in the early part of our country, and I know a lot about money, I'm not going to go into this, but in the early part of our country, there were a lot of different banks print whatever they wanted, and there were serious issues. That's why the Federal Reserve was originally created, was to prevent these banks from basically printing as much money as they want. But then the Federal Reserve took on the power, became kind of a power of its own, and eventually money just became basically worthless, like in so many countries, dude. Like, I've got a bunch of, I think I have some in here. Let me show you this. This is what happens when a country falls apart and decides that it's going to keep printing money. I have several of these, and I give them away to random subscribers and customers. $5 billion fucking dollars, friends, from the Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe, in almost mint condition. Well, maybe not mint. This was a real bill. These bills were given. This $5 billion bill wouldn't even buy you a dozen eggs at the end of Zimbabwe's complete collapse of their currency, which is where America's at. So a lot of people think that Bitcoin is a good way around that, because people are printing more money and the value of your cash, your wages have not increased. I don't want to get too off track here, but your wages have not increased enough to accommodate for inflation, which is the hidden tax. Therefore, people are going to become more and more broke, not because it's their fault, but because wages don't increase enough to keep up with inflation, because more and more money is being printed. And with COVID right now, with all the trillions they're giving away to the corporations and people, it's going to be much worse. I would advise to get all those things that you want now before the prices go way up. As for Bitcoin, I'll just tell you this. Anything that has so much volatility that you can buy it 1 month and lose half of your investment the next month, to me is completely not worth my time. That means that volatility shows that a currency does not have consistency. Consistency means that it doesn't go from $5 to $10,000 to $20,000 to $5,000 again. It doesn't make sense. It has no real value in the real world. And I know people disagree with this, but if the lights go out and there's a major solar flare and all the power goes out, for at least the time being, you will not have any Bitcoin in your pocket. You might have cash, and that may work. You might have silver and gold, which might even be better. Or you might have seeds or food to trade. So basically, if the shit hits the fan, what are you investing for? What are you saving for? If you're saving for a future that's perfect, that everything's working fine, which is not likely the future I see, buy Bitcoin. If you want to invest in a future for your family, buy ammo and dry food and learn how to grow and farm and buy a bunch of seeds. That's my opinion. So my opinion on Bitcoin is I think it's shit. Complete shit. That's my opinion. In all respect. So I hope that answers your question in a long way. And anyway, anytime I disagree with any of you, you should know that I mean it with all respect, you know. Let's see, where are we at? Seeing some funky things in the sky? Hell yeah. And Chris says, I still heard pre-1982 pennies for copper. Oh, let me tell you, I hoard all coins. Remember when there was a supposed change shortage in America earlier this year? I have a bucket where I save my coins, and I don't turn them into... If I was extremely desperate to pay rent, like down to the last pennies, of course I'd take it into the bank. But why would I take 4 quarters and change them in for a paper dollar? Think about it. 4 quarters are made out of actual metal that I can feel and weigh. I mean, I can melt 100 quarters down and make something. Couldn't do anything with a paper dollar or a paper $20 bill or a paper 50 or 100 or 1,000 or 10,000 or $1 million bill. It wouldn't matter. It's paper. At least with coins you have something. My advice would be to anybody, if you want to invest, the best way to keep American currency would be in pennies itself. Pennies, complete pennies. Some might be pre-1982, which are copper. Most after that are zinc or zinc combinations. Doesn't matter, it's all metal, it's not paper. And I think that's crucial to remember. I have a lot of the... oh, Chris says I have a bunch of Saddam dollars. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, a lot of people stocked up on those, especially people that came back from the war. Yep. Not just wars and market manipulation, but the United States CIA is the one that manipulates most of these markets. It's pretty sad. So you're welcome for the answer, my friends. Too many silver gold coin scams out there to take advantage of old people. Yes, Lexa, you're correct. There are. I'm sure there's a lot of fake ass silver out there. What I would advise is going to Monex or Kitco and buying it from a legitimate dealer. One time I ordered, what was it? I think I wanted like 200 grams of, I think it was 10 ounce, like 20 ounces of silver or something like that. And I wanted to buy a couple bars. Or no, there were, 10 ounce bars. And I wanted to buy a couple, 2 or 3 of them. They sent me a coin in the mail of a gold coin. It was one little gold coin. And I was so pissed. And I emailed them. I was like, what the fuck's going on? I ordered a bunch of 3 silver bars. And they're like, well, it's worth the same on the market. I was like, I don't give a shit what it's worth on the market. I bought silver because I specifically wanted something I could break up into smaller units if I needed to. And I believe that silver has a better long-term investment than gold. So you sent me the wrong fucking metal. Don't give me this shit. So they required me to go down to Portland and go to one of their stores and exchange it. So that kind of pissed me off. So I would not order any of this shit online from Monex or anything, but go to one of these local shops and buy legitimate silver and know what you're buying if you're going to do that. That's the best investment. I think silver is the best way to go, honestly. Lexa says, what about rare quarters? Yeah, actually, there's a lot of those. I'm still going through all mine looking for any imperfections. There's ones that are just still being discovered. They can be sold on eBay. You might make 10 bucks off a quarter, 20 bucks, some more for some. But your best bet, you'd spend hours and hours looking for anything. If you have no other option, sure, search through every quarter. But really, your best bet is just to stock up on knowledge, I think. You can make some good money off those quarters, though. Um, crypto. Yeah, crypto is very useful for a lot of people right now. I'm just saying long term, I would not invest in it. 4:20 a.m. Daniel, should I? You should go to bed, Daniel. I know you're tired, bro. You gotta be tired. Mark says, besides silver and gold bars, I bought 10 pounds of bars of copper. I've got 3 pounds of copper bars stacked up just for fun. And I have actually, I bought a bunch of copper 1 ounce Lakota coins from the Lakota tribe. They were used as, it's like a 2 piece something. They're actually, they've actually gained in value. It's pretty crazy. It really is. Yeah, buy any type of metal. It's a great way to go. Silver coins. Yep. Infected. Yep. Silver coins are great. And anyhow, I just wanted to kind of briefly stop by on uh, the day after Thanksgiving and say hi to everybody. I'm gonna head out now. I've been enjoying hanging out with the family, watching movies, but I wanted to come out here for just a minute and talk to you all live, at least to say hi. I don't know why, but probably because you're all pretty cool. It's nice talking with people. Don't forget to hit the like button because it actually does help my streams. As I said, YouTube the other day sent me several emails in a row saying, "Oh, we've, you know, age restricted your videos one after another," as if they'd been like, it says it'd been flagged, which means that basically the algorithms are seeking out videos like this and not sharing them, which is fine because mostly I do this for my subscribers, not for random strangers. But um, the only way to get subscribers is to meet random strangers, right? That makes sense. So I'm going to take a quick binger here and I'm going to spend a couple more minutes saying hi. I suppose I should finish with a thought about the holidays. You got to make them what you want them to be. You have to be able to embrace whatever comes your way and make it what you want it to be. When people are put in prison, when people are put into cages, when people are locked away in prison camps in Vietnam, you know, uh, they would make the most of it. They could survive years in these little cages with punja sticks and rice being thrown at them and being treated like shit, inhumane, like literally being thrown shit at them. I mean, the experiences people went through in their lives are nothing. I mean, compared to, I should say, the things we've been through in our lives are often nothing compared to some of the things that some people have been through. And these people come through unscathed. They're harmed, they're a little damaged, but they heal to an extent to where they can function. That's an amazing thing. Human resilience is something that we cannot express enough. Um, the ability for humans to come together and like cooperate with one another is something that I'm hoping we'll see more of in the near future because we're headed for some grim times, my friends. I'm not going to be negative and end this on a bad note, but the future of humanity is not rooted in some utopia. It's rooted in what we create here and in our hearts and how we care about one another. And what's happening right now is not showing our best side. So I definitely hope we can improve. And, you know, it's been real talking to you all. And, yep, happy Thanksgiving. And thanks for hanging out. Yes, thanks, Chris. I'm glad you caught one too. Thanks, Cami. Share on the advocacy Facebook group. Honestly, sister, I'd love to join Facebook too. I mean, because I'd love to share this stuff on my old Facebook account. So you're welcome to share any of this on Facebook. I haven't been able to do it because I got sucked into the social media world, and I felt like I had to abandon it for my own sanity. But for those who still do, definitely share it. Share your thoughts and share, I don't know, share your thoughts with the world however you can. Do what you can. Try to care about one another. Even though social media sucks, YouTube sucks just like Facebook, just like any of them, but I have to use something, right? So, peace and love. Thanks for coming. Um, Visit again, and I'll talk to you next time. A little late on my weekly podcast because it's the holidays. But if you're not familiar, I have a podcast. It's called 15-Minute Free Thinking. It's on iTunes and elsewhere. There's, I think, a link in my description. It's on Spotify and whatnot. It's voted the best podcast in the world for like, I think 400 years in a row. No, it's like 473 years actually in a row. And this is so tremendous and so wonderful. Everybody loves it. So I'll talk to y'all later. Be well, my friends. Be real.
So excited.
That was just really crazy. I stole like 3 or 4 eggs